In the vast wilderness and rural lands of far northern California, a creature that was thought to have vanished long ago has returned, bringing hope to some and dread to others. It's the reappearance of the gray wolf. For decades, wolves were hunted and poisoned to the vanishing point in California, with the last sighting of the animal in the state in the 1920s. But that changed in late 2011 when a wolf wearing a radio collar crossed into the state from Oregon. In the years since, California's gray wolf population has grown into the dozens, with some roaming in packs, others alone, with the animal's presence caught as fleeting images on trail cams. But in places like Modoc County in California's far northeastern corner, the wolf's reappearance is fueling a backlash, especially among cattle ranchers who see the apex predator as a growing menace to their livestock.
What kind of losses do you attribute to wolves being here?
So just in a short span of last fall, within a month, we had 5 depredations confirmed by wolves.
And a depredation, for people who don't know, is what?
That is a cattle kill by a wolf.
So where are we exactly?
So we're about 8 miles east of Alturas, right along the base of the Warner Mountains.
One person raising the alarm about wolves is Modoc County Supervisor and Rancher Ned Coe, who showed me around his land.
Doesn't matter how bad the day is, you can come out here and take a deep breath, take this in, and realize just how fortunate we are to be able to, do what we truly love doing and do it in this kind of an environment.
But Coe says he feels a lot less serene these days because of the presence of wolves in the area, and he says his concern extends way beyond the safety of his cattle.
We don't want our livestock harmed or killed, but also there's a concern for ranch families. The neighbors have a couple of young kids that play out in the yards. On up the creek here, there's several families with grandkids that come and visit on a regular basis. Is it safe at this point with them out there?
Those worries are also shared by local law enforcement, like Modoc County Sheriff Tex Dowdy.
That is the absolute fear,
What's that?
that if, we get that call that somebody's been attacked by one of these wolves or a pack of these wolves, and at that point it's too late, right? I feel like we haven't done enough to protect our constituents, our folks, our kids, and that's why we're trying to get out ahead of this.
A growing number of rural California counties, including Modoc, have declared a wolf state of emergency in response to the predator's presence. But experts point out that since the reappearance of gray wolves in the state, there have been no attacks on human beings, and that such incidents are exceedingly rare. Wolves are also protected by both the federal and state Endangered Species Acts and its official California policy to ensure the animal's population continues to rebound in the state. In Sacramento, I talked about that with Chuck Bonham, the director of California's Department of Fish and Wildlife.
This is an animal that was here originally since the beginning of time. Our department knows in the 1920s, we shot the last one in the state. So our predecessors, people across all different communities, ran the wolf out of California. Fast forward 100 years, our department didn't go to Oregon. Our department did not go to Washington State. We did not pick up a wolf and bring it here. What happened is nature played out. And she's super tough and resilient if we give her a chance. So wolves have come back to California, and now we have a population that's somewhere between 50, maybe 80 animals. That's an amazing story ecologically. That's part of our department. Our job is to save nature for all Californians.
And Bonham says state officials are doing everything possible to make sure the wolf's reappearance in California doesn't come at the expense of people. That includes placing transmitters on captured wolves to track their movements and providing financial compensation to ranchers whose cattle have been killed by wolves. But concerned ranchers say there's a lot the state doesn't know about the predators' presence in California, like how far they range and their true numbers in the state.
So you think there are more wolves than officials think now in California, and their numbers are growing faster than one might think?
I'm sure that there are more wolves than the state officials acknowledge in California. I know that in certain packs where they've said that there's 5 to 7 wolves, there's been video evidence that that number is actually closer to 12 to 14 or 15 in that pack. So, if you use that as an example, the state's a confirmed number of 70 is probably closer to 150 last year, and we're about to come into denning season right now, and that number will grow again.
Increasingly, in places like Modoc County, people want to have a lethal option in response to the wolves' presence. You want to have the authority to kill what you feel is a problem wolf, correct?
We do. We want to have the authority to be able to eliminate that threat when it becomes an imminent threat to the public safety.
But to wolf defenders, killing even some of the animals would be a tragic replay of what drove the species to extinction in the state for nearly a century. Now that wolves are back, one central question dominates. How much true wildness do we want in California's wild places? I'm Saul Gonzalez.